Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. My goodness, it's already Sunday. Saba snagged his spot tonight. Yes, he
Yes.
did. Lynn. Yes, he did, Lynn. He snagged it. He had it earlier, then he left because Maui came and played with him a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, he's going to chase him. And then he ignored him completely. And then he's like, now I'm coming back before the little one grabs it. Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a great night. Happy Sunday. It is my goodness, day 35 of 42. That means we only have
7
7 days
days left.
left as of tomorrow. It's insane. It's absolutely mind-boggling. So, are we live everywhere yet or no?
We're all
Oh,
going.
we're live already. Oh my God, I didn't
Hey,
realize we were live yet. Oh my God, he's usually like,
I'm very
wait a few
efficient
minutes. He's like,
tonight.
talk, talk, talk. So I'm like, oh my God.
Talking.
I thought we were, I wasn't sure. I was,
That's
I
all
was
right.
definitely not sure yet. So I hope you're all having a great week. It's been a crazy week here. I know for those of you, especially in Ontario right now, we are all going through this insane weather. I want to be back in Costa Rica. I vote. Let's go back to
Or
Costa Rica
Jamaica.
or Jamaica.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, let's go forward. Let's not
Yeah.
go
Or
backwards. Or
Bahamas.
Bahamas,
Yeah.
because that's coming up close
Yeah.
sooner.
We
Bahamas
have a
is coming
funny
up
story
sooner.
about that.
Yes. So it's actually been a great week. It's really strange though, like I was saying, because of this weather, it kind of threw us off a little bit because we were like, I think it's because maybe we went, we don't have much snow in Toronto. We don't have much snow in Toronto. And then all of a
We live
sudden
in a condo,
it decided
so
to give us snow.
we
But
live in a condo, so we kind of what can see it from above.
yeah,
It was very snow
it's
globey all day
beautiful
for
out
us.
there.
For us.
This is how I like snow as long as I'm inside.
Hey, we owned a home for 7 years,
We
and
did.
I grew up in Northern Ontario, so I've shoveled enough in my lifetime. I am very happy to live in a condo now and not have to shovel anymore.
Definitely.
Thumbs up on that. So this weekend, so last week we did pretty well. We actually were really proud of the fact that we've been able to do kickstart the entire
Yes.
35
We
days.
didn't get sick and had to like just and you know what?
Yeah.
I think we were in a and you know what? It's so funny. Like mindset is such a huge part of any journey you're on. And you know what? We were in a good mindset, even though we had some challenges and we had a few things that happened to us during this 6 weeks, but we didn't let it detract us
Derail
or
us.
derail us. That's the word I was looking for.
I was like,
And I was
betrayal.
trying to look for another word because I keep saying I don't want to fall off the
Yeah,
track
you're going off on a
because I'm
trail on a
always on
walk,
the track
and all
no
of a
matter
sudden
what.
you walk off the trail, you've derailed.
But we didn't have any forks in the road that led us into a wrong direction.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, today Nick went for a nap and I was like, I can definitely pull something out of the drawer right now, but I won't. But I won't. I'll be good. I won't because he went for a nap and I was like, oh, I was in the mood, but I did not. So I'm very proud of myself on that. So
Friday was our so Jean-Luc and I don't celebrate Valentine's
we
Day.
I made heart-shaped pizzas on Friday.
That was the extent
That's
of
just
it.
the extent. I
We
think we finally looked at each other at one point and went, "Oh yeah, happy Valentine's Day."
we don't
My
celebrate
mom wished it. His mom wished it. But
all of you.
but we
We
don't really
don't
celebrate
celebrate it.
for each other.
We celebrate the next day
Yes.
because that's the day Jean-Luc and I got engaged
I proposed to Nick on
in
February 15th,
2009.
2009.
So the story goes, listen how romantic this is, everybody. Listen, ladies, how romantic this story is.
We were at my cousin's wedding
And Jean-Luc fell
on ice.
and broke his wrist because guess what? He didn't listen to Nick. What happens when you don't listen to Nick? You break your wrist.
I broke my wrist.
So he broke his wrist in Sudbury, Ontario. And being from there, I told him, well, we're going home tomorrow. And we lived in Mississauga at the time. And I told him, let's just wait the night because hospitals in Sudbury, for those who live up there in the north, take 15 hours to get through. If you just have a broken wrist, it takes like a whole 24 hours. My dad was basically dying at one point and he didn't get in right away. That's how bad the backed up it is up there. And so Jean-Luc waited overnight. He was taking medication and a lot of stuff to help him get through the night. And as he was going through the night, he started crying to me saying, I'm over, because as you all know, his
I'm a
job.
sign language interpreter. I'm like, oh my God, my career's over. My wrist was in like a weird shape.
And I said, and he turned to me while in tears, going, my life is over. Will you marry me?
I need insurance.
Will you marry me? I, of course, went, sure, honey. Let him fall asleep. And then the next morning, which was February 15th,
Well, it was already
it
February.
was already the 15th,
Yeah.
but on February 15th, when we woke up, I asked him if he remembered what he asked. And I
did.
said, did you
I wasn't mad.
mean it?
Yep.
And he said yes. So I then said, okay. And because, you know, me being who I am, I actually stayed up to figure out what date we'd have to get married on.
Wow.
So I'm a man, you know, for men out there listening, we can't have two anniversaries. So our wedding date is our official becoming boyfriends date. It's the same date,
October 1st.
October 1st. So
And we got married on October 1st.
Yeah, so that's the same date. We had been dating for like 5 months.
Well, no,
It was
yeah,
February.
you're right. It was February and
September,
in
October,
November, December, January, February. Yeah, it was
5, 6
5 months.
months.
And then we were together there for 3 years before we actually got married.
Yeah. So I told him we had to get married on a Saturday. It had to be October 1st. And I chose October 1st, 2011 because it was all ones and zeros, and I'm a math person, so it was all binary numbers. I know.
Yeah.
So that's the whole story about how we got engaged. So that's why we don't celebrate Valentine's Day. We always celebrate the day after.
And then chocolate's on sale the next day, and restaurants aren't as full.
And I don't like chocolate. So
right?
maybe that's why I never liked it.
We'll get into how we met on another time, but we'll definitely tell you guys about that. So, next thing we did actually on Saturday morning, we woke up Saturday. We did we did step class. It was a lot of fun. Then we went to Farm Boy, did some groceries, and then we were visiting our friend Mel, who's actually part of Kickstart. She's a good friend of ours. We've cruised with her in the past. We actually have done a lot of stuff with her. And she ended up tearing her ACL. No lie, everybody. Goes to show you how easy it is to tear your ACL. She was heading to Florida right before the holidays. Like she was going to celebrate Christmas in Florida because they have a condo there. She had her 2 dogs with her, and she was putting her dogs underneath the seat on the plane. And she went to sit down and tore her ACL and tore something else in her knee, her meniscus as well. She didn't think it was that bad. And then she saw doctors and blah, 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 and ended up having to have surgery. And she had it maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago now, if that.
So we went to visit her. Our plan was to have freshie, but then we were driving through
Greek town.
And all we smelled was
Greek food.
Like we're having Greek.
We're like, okay, we
got Greek food instead.
It was amazing. If you're ever in Greek town, on Danforth, Mezzas, if I'm not mistaken. It's amazing Greek food.
So Mezzes. So we then visited her, and as we're chit-chatting during our lunch, we tell her,
well,
our next trip,
we're going to the Bahamas at the end of March, actually March 31st. And she's like, Bahamas? She's like, I'll be in the Bahamas on the 31st.
We're like, we're on Celebrity.
She's like, we're on. She's like, are you going to be on Silhouette? And we're like, yeah. So we had no clue, but we're going to be on the same cruise ship.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool that we have friends already on the cruise ship with us.
That's going to be a lot of fun. So we're leaving on March 31st. We're actually going to Florida first.
Yeah.
And then going to Miami. We're going to actually, we're leaving out of Fort Lauderdale. So we're going to be in Miami for 2 days and then leaving for Fort Lauderdale. It stops in Key West and Bahamas. And I get to add another country to my list.
Bahamas.
I've never been there. So check. I'm adding another one this year.
Yeah.
And then we came home last night.
We had enough Greek food leftovers. That's what we had for dinner last night as well. We had it for lunch and then we had it for dinner because it worked out that way. It was easier that way.
Today we woke up early, really early. We got
we went live on TikTok and I made marinara sauce.
We opened our Tupperware that we got for everybody, all the winners, all the stuff that everybody received.
So really funny for Jean-Luc and Nick to go through stuff, and we're still not familiar with all the Tupperware. And we're like, I think this is this. Is that this? Is that that? We were completely wrong at one point. We actually had to call Sylvie from Sudbury and say, can you help us go through it? Because we think we're missing items.
We were missing.
Nothing was missing. We just didn't know what was what. Yeah.
So announcements for this week. Again, this is the last week of Kickstart. It does not mean that Jean-Luc and I are disappearing. It just means that during Kickstand, which starts next Monday, we will have a reduced schedule, meaning we have less sessions. We're still going to have our step classes. We're still going to be around. We're just not going to be around as much. This week, though, we still have 3 more sessions to go after tonight. Tuesday
is chat with me and Nick. However, we have my amazing childhood friend, Shannon Kadar, who's going to be with us. She is going to be talking to us about cancer and the genetic mutations and prevention. She's a cancer survivor. She's been on P3. She's come to speak to us on a Sunday night chat as well. Her story is incredible. I mean, honestly, I'll let her tell it because no one can tell it more than her, better than her, I should say. And then on Thursday, I will be in the kitchen, but I'm not going to be alone this Thursday because we have lovely Sylvia Beneteau is coming to show us how to make sourdough starter because I want to make sourdough bread.
So we will be sending the recipe via email on Thursday. But you can look it up online. Just look for a sourdough starter. It's yeast. It's the usual stuff you need
yeast,
for bread.
Sugar.
Yeah. So we'll get you the information.
Probably even ask Jen from Rustic Mama. She's been making a lot of sourdough.
A lot of bread.
I've seen some sourdough.
And we're also making meatloaf stuffed spaghetti squash.
Yep.
One of our favorite things. We're gonna cut up a spaghetti squash, stuff a meatloaf in it, and then
Did you
bake it.
just say
I know, I know.
spaghetti? I can't even say what you said.
And no, you do not need a bread maker to
No,
make bread.
you do not. You do
Yes.
not.
Then on Sunday, this next Sunday, is the Kickstart and send off. It's our last session. That night will be about sharing what we've all done, things that we've accomplished, things that all of us have completed or achieved during Kickstart. I checked this morning again, and we're on fire. Did you
Right.
guys see the amount of weight we've all lost as a group? It says on the dashboard we've all lost 321.5 pounds together
Since January 13th.
since January 13th. 60 of you are still diamond status. For those of you wondering, you have until April 28th to submit your trackers. So
February 28th to submit your trackers.
I said
You said April again. Again. You keep saying
Listen.
April every single time.
February
He's
28th.
really trying to jump forward.
February 28th is when you have to submit your trackers to get your diamond status. And tonight we have guests from Rustic Mama because those ones who get achieved diamond status will be put into a draw to possibly win a weekend, which we'll be all talking about this in a few minutes to all of you because our guests are here tonight. A few more announcements before we get started, though. Remember that the Kickstand book is now available. Kickstand, again, is the period between Kickstart sessions. It's when you guys,
maintain your commitments.
Yeah, maintain your commitments. As we've said, Jean-Luc and I take a small break during that time. We encourage you to be active. We encourage you to continue our step classes. And then on April 20th is when we come back for Kickstart summer session. And this time, like we said, there's going to be a 1 week orientation week this time. So we're not going to just throw you into the wolves. We're actually going to get you guys started. We're going to get you guys showing you the new dashboard because, yes, I'm going to be making some changes to make it a little more efficient. I've learned some lessons this time. I always learn a lesson.
And learning how to adapt some of your commitments from the get-go, right? Learning how to maybe create commitments and help you create commitments that you might not need to change throughout the 6 weeks, or that you could actually sustain. But again, there's nothing wrong with changing if you need to, but it would be fun for you to be able to say, you know what? I've seen a few of you on Sundays. It's become a regular post in the group saying, I'm keeping my commitments the way they are. I don't need to change them. And it's cool to see. There's nothing wrong with changing them, though. I don't want anyone to feel bad if they have to.
In chat, I just put the links to the Kickstand book and PDF, as well as the Kickstart registration for those who want to join us this summer. And of course, invite your friends and family. It's still free. We're not going to charge for anything. That's not changing. We never plan on charging for this. It's helped us because our own journeys have been impacted by this. As we've shared on Saturday, I've lost 19 pounds since January 1st. Jean-Luc has lost 18.1 pounds since January 1st. And so this is not, a lot of people back in the day, and I'm not dissing any programs or anyone, a lot of people back in the day will always say, oh, wow, aren't you thankful you joined fill in blank? Aren't you glad you did this thing because that's what made you lose weight? It's never the thing you join.
It's you.
It's you.
You're the one.
You're the one doing the work, no matter what you're doing.
You might be using the tools that are offered to you, but if you don't put the work in, people, you're not going to see the results you want.
Exactly. So you are the ones driving your own car. You are the ones that are making this happen. So I just wanted to emphasize that because Jean-Luc and I are not following anything precisely. Like, we're doing healthy, we are tracking our bites, but we're not doing it to the point where we're as regimented as we used to be. We're trying to create ourselves a sustainable life this time.
You guys have been our support.
Yeah, you guys have been our support system. So
it's been every single one of you.
Yeah.
These chats we have on Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays have really helped us along the way, and we couldn't have done it without every single one of you. So we hope every single one of you comes back in the summer, and we get it if you can't.
Yeah.
We understand if you can't, right? So on that note,
you owe me a Coke.
Okay, sure.
I'll give it to me after the session.
I'll give it to you later. Yeah.
So on that
Coke
note,
Zero.
on that
Coke
note,
Zero.
tonight we have special guests with us tonight. And as you guys have all heard, we've done many Rustic Mama retreats. We're actually going to share you how we started doing Rustic Mama and how we came about to, join up this amazing group. So 2 years ago, or 3 years almost now, in 2022, Jean-Luc and I, so Antonetta was doing a body Rustic Mama retreat. So
there
she basically
70 Abadi members going to a Rustic Mama retreat one weekend. It happened to be in October.
Yeah.
It was a Halloween weekend, and we didn't know this. And we're on the phone with Antonetta one day, and she goes, oh, by the way, Lizette's going to be there. And we're both like, who's Lizette? Nick's mom is Lizette.
And she didn't tell
She didn't
me.
tell us. So we were pissed. We were
Yeah.
like, beep,
Oh,
beep.
really?
Really? You want to go there? So we went to Antonetta, and I jokingly went to Nick and I said, wouldn't it be funny since it's a women's retreat? We really can't just show up as Jean-Luc and Nick, but maybe we should just show up in drag. So we mentioned it to Antonetta. Antonetta mentioned it to Jen, who is the CEO owner of
CEO.
the CEO, that owner of RMR. And Jen's like, yeah, it's Halloween, so it couldn't have happened on a better weekend. So lo and behold, Gina and Nikki were born, and we ended up going to a Rustic Mama retreat in drag and had the best time ever. Jen was like, you know what? I heard you guys teach step class that weekend. She's like, do you want to do it on Sunday? We can squeeze you in. And we had 15 people do step
Yeah.
class with them. And now it's
It's been
history.
2 years
It's
now.
been 2 years.
And what's funny, everybody, is like Jean-Luc and I love to camp. We love camping, but we don't like setting up the tent. We don't like having to make the meals. We don't like being alone while we camp. And so we used to do it a lot, but we've stopped in recent years because it's just, we just it's too much work. So when we Rustic Mama, we're like, oh my God, this is the best of both worlds. We get to go camping. And what's funny is when Jean-Luc, you and I used to camp, we would actually set up at a campsite, at a provincial park for those of you in Canada. So you set up at a provincial park, and then we'd be close to our neighbors. And
we'd hear them all chatting and laughing, and we'd be sitting there, just the two of us, going, "Yay, this is fun!"
And we'd be like, or we'd be drinking mostly.
Well, of course.
And then we'd be saying, wouldn't it be fun if we can just join their group and have fun with them? But we never did it because I was shy. I don't know why he didn't do it, but I was shy.
I needed way more cocktails.
And so now this is what Rustic Mama does for us. We get to go enjoy a weekend away with a bunch of ladies, and it's so much fun. The accommodations are great. The staff are amazing. And so this is why we wanted them to come on today, because we feel that if you've never done one of these,
do it.
You don't know what you're missing, because it is a very empowering event. And we'll have both Jen and Heather talk about how this all happened. But for us, as two men who go to these weekends, we feel empowered every time we go.
For two gay men to go to a women's weekend and feel as empowered as we do, I can only imagine how the women feel. So enough about us. Let's talk to Jen and talk to Heather, because they are two fantastic, fantastic ladies. Hi, ladies.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
How are you?
Awesome. How are you guys?
It feels really weird having you virtual because I'm so used to seeing you in person normally. That way, seeing you on a screen, it doesn't seem right. Normally, I'm used to being able to give you a hug.
It doesn't do us justice, Jean-Luc. It doesn't do us justice.
I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Thanks again for being here and coming to talk to all of our amazing Kickstarters out there, because I really think what you guys do really encompasses so much about what we feel community is all about. So let's just start from the beginning, Jen. I'd love to really talk to you about and have you let people know about the origins of, Rustic Mama, where it all came from. How did you get inspired to create these retreats?
Yeah, okay. First of all, I want to apologize if I cut in and out. Really bad snowstorm where I am here. My internet is pretty spotty. My son was out there digging out our Starlink router earlier today. So I may cut in and out, but if I do, Heather's got my back. So we'll start there. RMR kind of came to life after I had kids. I've got 3 kids of my own. I had 2 stepkids at the time, and we road trip all summer. We were out on the west coast of Canada. We did 6 weeks road tripping and camping in tents, that kind of thing. And as kids do, they argue. And so on the way back, they're arguing in the car, and I'm kind of, up to my wits' end with the arguing and them fighting. And I was like, who was I before I was a mom? Like, what did I like to do? I needed to remember what that was like. And I kind of tossed it out to my friends. I was like, do you remember what it was before you had kids? When you used to do things you liked to do and your world wasn't them? And I kind of looked around for a weekend escape, something that wasn't very expensive, because again, mom can't afford to treat yourself most of the time. And there's retreats out there, but they're all kind of holistic, or you're eating vegan food, or it's very fitness yoga based. It's not really my jam. I wanted to go away and drink some wine, be able to sit on a dock, maybe paint something or take a cooking class, and it just didn't exist. So I thought I'll try it out. If we get 20 people come one time a year, that would be amazing. I think that would be successful. I launched the website the middle of November of 2017, and by January 1st, I had 175 women signed up for the first Rustic Mama Retreat. It was
Wow.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
insane. Holy crap. So the demand was there and you just literally
Tapped into it.
tapped into this
Yeah, I kind of took
niche
what
market.
I needed and built what I needed, and it turns out it's what other women need as well. So
That's
that year we were
fantastic.
planning to do one. We did seven in our first year, all over 150 people, and now we are year seven, I think, and we do 25 retreats a year.
Wow, that's insane. I love hearing this. This is so cool. So, can you just give us like an idea, an overview of the different types of retreats that you actually offer? Because I know you said like you started off with just like I want to go paint something and I want to go, chillax with my friends while drinking some wine. But I know it's evolved quite a bit since then.
It has. Yeah. We started out with women's retreats. That was our main focus and still is to this day. But as we've gotten to know our customers and our client base, they've offered suggestions. People have come up to me and said, this would be so great if I could do this with my daughter. And then we did mom and daughter retreats. And then people were like, I really wish I could do this with my son. So we have mom and son retreats. People who are really, really into crafting wanted Christmas crafts. So a whole weekend just dedicated to crafting. So we started doing Christmas crafting retreats. And then I met so many women who wanted to go away tropically on bigger trips, but they didn't have anyone to travel with. So I said, let's do it. Let's get a group of women and go to Mexico or go to Dominican. So we offer tropical retreats. It always is evolving, but it's from guest suggestions or what I hear, what people want. It's kind of that if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, that's so true.
And we'll be doing Jamaica this year with
They
Rustic Mama,
are.
so we're gonna be. It's very exciting. We're looking forward to it because we love traveling with women. We won't lie. It's fun for us. We love doing this kind of stuff. So, what are some of the unique activities and workshops that participants can expect during these types of retreats?
So all different kinds of activities and workshops, like beyond, it's so hard to choose. Everybody says, oh my gosh, I wish I could be doing this, but it's at this time, and I want this and I want that. And so that means you have to come back and see us. So we have fitness such as yoga, kickboxing, step with Jean-Luc and Nick, line dancing to art, so guided painting, watercolor cards, acrylic pouring, to crafts, beaded jewelry, string art, sign making, woodworking, to cooking, spring rolls with Jean-Luc and Nick. Also sourdough starter, that's going to be with Jen. Like we are so excited about the sourdough. The sourdough is the thing. Like I can't get enough. Like I'm like, Jen, you need to bring me bread. This is just how it is, right? So um, also sushi, homemade pasta, chocolate making, royal icy cookie decorating, just so much variety. There can be up to 20 to 40 workshop offerings per weekend, depending on the size.
Okay, you just said 20 to 40 workshops per weekend, and we've been to these weekends with 20 and 40 workshops, and it never seems like there's that many. But
Oh, it
really,
does.
when
It
I think
does.
about it,
It
there
does.
is
Yeah.
because there's multiple workshops happening simultaneously, and
Yeah.
you don't seem to see that. So honestly, ladies, like to give you an idea, is these groups aren't like groups of 40 people doing a workshop. You're in a group of maybe 10 to 15 people in a workshop. So you're not being overwhelmed by feeling like you actually have a lot of one-on-one time with whoever's teaching you, which is such a cool thing. I love that part of it.
I love it too. And it's not just that, it's what they offer. A lot of the stuff that they do, we've even learned some things. Like we've actually seen some of the sessions and learned some, like, for example, the charcuterie board making that we did at Bougie Mama last weekend. We learned how to put the things together. Jen was like, you're supposed to put odd numbers and the colors off. We're like, we know this stuff. So now we've learned something for when we do our own charcuterie boards in the future.
Yeah,
So
it's really good. Oh, sorry.
the next question I have for you guys is, what are some of the upcoming retreats planned for 2025? And are there any new themes or locations being introduced?
So 2025 has brought our bougie launch. So as you guys are talking about it, and if you guys, as you are all following Jean-Luc and Nick, and they put all these great postings up so far on their YouTube with the videos from the weekend. I saw them; they're fantastic. So we just had our first one at Sir Sam's and Halliburton, and it was an amazing hotel with great accommodations, 3-course meals, spa, etc. In addition to all of these great and amazing amazing accommodations and great grounds and everything. We also have all of our fantastic workshops, but they're bougied up a level. So we had the charcuterie boards, but Jen and Brent had you guys making them a personal one. So you guys were wood burning that charcuterie board and making it so much your own. And then so all sorts of different, like we did chocolate entremets, just to make it a little bit heightened. But Jen always has these great ideas for all of these fantastic bougie workshops, actually workshops just in general. Um, Also, our next bougie retreat will be at Egan Ridge Golf Resort and Spa, and that's in Fenland Falls on May 9th to 11th. So, you ladies, you definitely have to jump in and check this out. We do have some spots. I know it's Mother's Day weekend, but Mother's Day is about you. Mother's Day is about refilling your cup because you can't pour from an empty cup. So, if you're going to come and see us, at Fenland Falls, and we will have a Mother's Day brunch on the Sunday with I'm hearing rumors of mimosas. So I don't know how you're all getting home, but you're gonna have the mimosas on the Sundays. So yeah, so we definitely have that, and that's an incredible facility. So you don't want to miss out. And on top of that, with all of our bougie offerings, and as well as our different ones, we have Jamaica coming up in December for 2025 as well, and also Jen will be also coming up with our whitewater canoeing as well. We've done that already as well, but there'll be those as well, and then all the other future retreats that we have coming up with same ones with the ladies and the kids and everything.
That's so cool.
Mhm.
So how can interested individuals register for these types of events? Is there any early registration benefits? Is there, single options? How does it all work?
Yeah, so everything's posted on our website. That's the best place to go. You'll go to the website, you'll click on 2025, and it'll pull down all the different events that we're offering in all of the seasons. So you can see kind of a year at a glance and see what might work for your schedule. There are some early bird pricings for those who register early. We always launch the next year's dates in August. So kind of August through September is that early bird pricing for the following year. And then occasionally we have some discounted retreats throughout the year. It's not that often, but we do also have a sponsorship program where some businesses and some individuals donate funds to help subsidize retreats for people who may not be able to afford the whole thing. So those come out via email if you're part of you follow our newsletter. They're also posted on our Facebook page. So
Well,
we try to make it affordable to everybody.
that's so cool. I didn't even realize that you had a sponsorship program like that, Jen. That's absolutely amazing. Because again, we try to do the same thing in the
Yeah.
sense that we know not everybody can always afford things. So it's nice to be able to get those discounts out there. Someone just asked a question that I think it would be a great time to answer. And it's, is there any retreats offered in the Maritimes?
There is. We have been out east a few times. This year's is going to be in September 26th, 28th, whatever that weekend is, in Nova Scotia. So it's our first time doing it in Nova Scotia. It's just outside Halifax. Beautiful location. It's right on the water. It's just so gorgeous. But Jean-Luc and Nick are going to be joining us
Going.
out east.
Yes, we are actually going to be going to this Rustic Mama Retreats out east. So if you want to meet us and you're in the East Coast, sign up for the weekend. You can hang out with us all weekend long.
And that was actually a kind of a funny story because when I saw Jen post it, I went because I have friends out east. My best friend Pam lives out east, and a very good interpreter friend Karen Ann lives out there. So I tagged them both, and Karen Ann said, "I'm going," and she registered right away. And then Pam's like, "Oh, I'm going." So Nick and I looked at Nick and I'm like, "Can we go?" I'm like,
So,
Can we go?"
so we are going to be there in September 26th to 28th in Halifax. So for those of you in the East Coast who want to meet us, this is the perfect opportunity. You get a whole weekend with us.
You might not want to meet us after.
You might have enough by
But
the
you
end.
love Jen and Heather, so you'll be safe, and Tiff as well.
I think people don't have enough of us by the time they leave. I think they're okay. I think we're not that annoying. We're not that annoying, hun. So can you share some memorable stories or feedback from past participants about their retreat experiences? And I know here in the room right now, we do have some past retreaters. So for those of you in here right now, if you can share in chat some of your experiences, we'll read some of them after. But if you, Jen and Heather, can share some, that'd be great.
Yeah, actually, I've had some really incredible conversations and heartfelt conversations with women at every retreat. every retreat. And like I've been on the Sunday morning, they're in a art class, they're doing some watercolor affirmations, they're just some doing meditative art. And they've come to me and they've said, I can't believe I didn't know I needed this so much. Like I just got told my friends and my cousins were coming to this and they're like, "Do you want to come?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want to hang out with you." So I'll sign up and come and didn't know what to expect. They came for the weekend and they just absorbed the whole weekend from the time that they arrived at registration and seeing all of our staff's happy faces to welcome them and to tell them what they were so excited to be in for and Wine Social was coming. And then they came through the weekend and they went through all of their workshops and then had a great time at the party on Saturday night. And then Sunday morning, it all just kind of clicked. And she was just like, I didn't know I needed this. I feel so much better. I just I just feel revived and I've just kind of reconnected with myself. As much as I've reconnected with my family members I came with and my girlfriends that I just thought I was going to come and have a good time with, then they turn around and said, I connected with me. And I just remember that, you know what, I need some love too. So it was a full tears conversation. It was a great big hug at the end, and she's been back 3 or 4 times since.
That
And she always sticks out to me, this lady, and we talk. And a lot of the times the ladies that have these like aha moments that they turn around, you would never think that they needed it. They just feel like they have such a strong personality and they feel like they just forged through life and everything is great. And then they come to you and then they're this puddle of love. And you're just having this great conversation with them. And it's a great big hug at the end. And they're like, I'll be back. And thank you so much. And I always love sharing these stories with Jen. I'm just all like, oh, I had the greatest conversation of my workshop. And then it's just all like, and I just love it because I love how it amps up Jen's business. And I've always been a hype girl for RMR, but it's just that I just love what it does because they'll be back and you're benefiting these lovely ladies.
I think
Whether
one thing that we forgot to mention to all of you. Okay, Jen is the owner and the
Creator.
creator, and she's the
She's a
the
CEO.
CEO.
the
But Heather
CEO.
is
CEO.
Heather is HR. I'm just joking.
Well, you're not, but yeah.
Yeah, she's HR, but Heather is also the MC with the mostest. She is the one who leads the entire weekends. So she's the one on the mic giving you all the instructions you need throughout the weekend. She leads all the games, all the activities like that are done on a bigger as a bigger group. She tells you where to be, how to be there, what to do, and Heather
Jean-Luc and I just run around being crazy.
and Heather is absolutely phenomenal. I honestly think, and I think I could say this, and Jen would probably agree. She's like Jen's right hand lady, like in the sense, like they complement each other so well, and they make the weekends and the retreats memorable for every single one there, even for us. Like
Yeah.
we consider ourselves lucky not only to work with them, but to actually call them friends now.
Yeah.
Like they're more than just work people, they're friends.
Yeah.
Like
We talk all the
we
time.
talk all the time now.
I do.
Um,
And I think you guys know this, but that your guests may not, that Heather actually started as a guest at a retreat, and our personalities just clicked and vibed so well that I literally couldn't do this without her now.
oh,
Oh, and I
I know.
love that too. I think you've mentioned that too. There's been a few people that actually have been guests. They might not work for Rustic Mama on a regular basis, but they actually have offered to produce or give workshops as well, if I'm not mistaken, right? So there are
Yes,
a few people that
absolutely.
actually host workshops through during an RMR, and they're just regular guests as well, which is fantastic.
In
Yeah, we get to
chat, I
come
got a
across
cute
so many
little
incredible women who offer these things that they want to share their passion with people. So this
Yeah.
gives them a place to come back and run a workshop and share their gifts, their talents with everybody. It's been wonderful, the people we've met.
in chat. There's a few people who've been sharing a lot of great things. So Anne Marie says it was nice to get away. The workshops are amazing. The food was really good too. Highly recommend. It's a lot of fun. Linda, she does Saturday morning line dancing, her go-to every year with Heather. And so that's Linda. She said that she loves it. She did step with us the first time at RMR, and that's why that's why she joined Kickstart, because she met us there. Heidi as well. We met through our step class at RMR. My mom It said that even if the weather is terrible, we still have a great time and we still want to go back because the people are so warm. Chantel said that she went to her retreat first time 2 years ago. She went alone and ended the weekend with new friends. One person is now her Zumba instructor, and some others she met who live in a GTA. She was invited last year to another retreat, and when she went with them, she also she met us there as well. And she's going to continue to go even if it's by herself because everyone makes her feel so welcome, and it's such a needed break from everyday life. And I think that right there.
I wanted to talk about the solo travelers
Yes.
too. I think that is such an important thing. Don't be afraid if you're going if you want to if you're have no one to go with.
Yes. This is a big thing. This weekend is all about you. It literally is about you. If you're coming alone, if you're coming with a group of ladies, it doesn't matter. You're going to be welcomed and with open arms. You will meet new friends. I almost can guarantee that because I think every solo travel, I'm sorry, last weekend at Bougie Mama, we walked in the first night of dinner. It was very quiet. Everyone was having their own little chats. Second night, the room was roaring with everyone laughing.
Sitting together, the groups had mixed and mingled, and we were like, this is cool.
And the same thing happens every retreat because what happens is that since you're such small groups during your sessions, you actually get to meet people and get one-on-one time with different people, and then they invite you to meet their friends or their wives or not their wives, well, their wives too,
Well,
their
yeah.
wives too, or their moms or their sister, and so then you meet others, and then you end up making really good friends while you're there. Heidi said that she took belly dancing classes. She met us at Rustic Mama. She loves the fresh air, the activity, the amazing people, and the great food and the fun. Linda has participated in 3 Rustic Mama retreats. They're so well organized, lots of varieties and activities, very inclusive community. Went with her sister, daughter, and friends. Highly recommended. Lynn's she's been a lot of different people. She does a lot of different activities that are out of her comfort zone. The games they do to get you to meet others are so much fun. It's a happy time. You feel so energized and relaxed.
And I think that one of the other things too is a lot of people think, oh, I don't want to sign up for activities, or I want to go do a weekend on my own. And there's no obligation, right?
No, not at all. Like, if it's your weekend, come. You can pick sessions. You wake up that morning, decide I don't want to do that. Maybe you had too much to drink Saturday and you don't want to hit yoga class at 9 a.m. Sunday. Totally fine. It's your weekend. Go enjoy the beach. Go sit on the dock. Go do whatever.
She's a really good ventriloquist there for a second.
Yeah,
there.
I saw that. I'm like,
Like,
am we losing her? Are we losing her?
ventriloquist. Is that a new workshop?
Yeah. And Jen is going to run it.
So, Jen, I have a question for you. How do you make sure that each retreat provides a balance of relaxation, adventure, and personal growth?
Yeah, so we've been at this for 7 years now. So we've been able to kind of curate the perfect weekend that has the right balance. You have enough workshops to keep you active and busy and feel like you've got your value, but you also have enough downtime where you have a chance to relax or sit around or mingle with your friends and take that time. The workshops are such a variety as well, from, as Heather mentioned, fitness to crafting to adventure. You can kind of work your weekend the way you want it to be. Everybody kind of gets what they want and what they need out of a weekend.
Can you tell us a bit about the team behind Rustic Mama Retreats and the expertise they bring to the programs?
Oh gosh, our team is so dynamic. It's really something.
Uh-oh. Did we lose her? I can talk. If we lost her, I can talk about it, but we'll give her we'll just give a second. So, like Jen was saying, our team is super dynamic. And there she's back. Yay!
Oh, back.
You're back. We lost you as soon as you said that we were dynamic. And then you're gone.
Well, it's something I'm very proud of. Sorry, guys. Yeah. We've got staff from all over Ontario and the East Coast, really diverse background. There are certified fitness instructors. There are art teachers with decades of experience teaching art workshops, homesteaders with so much knowledge and passion for what they do, teaching you how to take care of chickens or grow a garden or make sourdough or pasta from scratch. We've got retired teachers who come and work most of our mom and daughter, mom and son retreats, bringing that expertise in. Outdoor survivalists that teaches all of our outdoor survival programming and camping programs. Honestly, just such an amazing collection of highly talented individuals. And they all love working together and they all love the purpose of RMR, and that passion comes through and makes it really enjoyable for all of our guests.
You know what? I want to touch on that just a little bit, if you don't mind, because when Nick and I first started doing the RMR weekends, we would go and we were like, we didn't know where to go because we were not technically part of the staff, and we were there part of, as being retreat. We weren't part of the retreaters either. We were
We're two
kind of in
men.
the middle,
We're two
right?
men.
So it was amazing that Jen and team just embraced us and said, "Hey, why don't you guys come sit with us? Like, you're part of this team." Like, and to be honest with you, to see how they all get along together and how their little um machine functions and how everybody helps each other out. Like when Jen
We're
says,
learning.
yeah,
We're learning.
when Jen says, or Heather says, okay, we need someone to man this, we need someone to do this, we need some. There's not a time that no one ever raises a hand or says, no, I'm not going to do it. Everybody is there as a team to support each other to make sure all of the guests feel supported. So it's beautiful to see that. So with a growing emphasis on the whole mental health situation and self care, how are your retreats catered to these aspects? Like, what types of activities do we offer as far as within the mindset or the mind happen?
So we do have our wellness weekends for people who are interested in experiencing a retreat with a more intense wellness focus and self-care focus. So we offer classes like yoga and meditation, trusting your intuition, creating personal growth plans, balancing your chakras, setting boundaries, creating affirmation cards, nutrition, meal planning, etc. That said, we do have a wellness type workshops at every single retreat, wellness or women's. We always try to offer a variety of fitness classes and educational workshops on so many topics. So if you do want to just be fully wellness and mental break at a retreat, then the wellness is for you. Like it's not the party night, and like you're still gonna have fun, but you're really gonna self focus. So we have sound baths and setting intentions and board breaking and like setting down release like intentions and stuff like that. So all of that stuff is focused on that. But we like Jen usually has the fitness and the mental health stuff at regular retreats, so you can have those fun times, but as well as take a few workshops, so 3 hours, about an hour and a half of each workshop, to really focus in on yourself if you would want to take one of those boundaries or life coaching classes to see about yourself, as well as reconnecting with your friends and doing other such things.
So, what about the people seeking more adventure stuff? We heard a little bit about these new adventure type retreats and weekends. I think you were talking about like whitewater rafting or if it was that, if I'm not mistaken. So, what kind of skills do people need in order to do that?
So it's the whitewater canoeing, and everything is taught to you. This is what you're coming for the weekend. So if it's the whitewater canoeing, you're coming up, you're having a skills sessions within you're sitting in a library and you're sitting and you're talking and you're getting taught everything, your safety, all of your techniques and things like that. So there's a lot of one on the group with all of the instructions. So you don't have to have the skills. What you have to have is a sense of adventure, the sense of
Ah,
want, the sense of getting out of your box and getting and experiencing something you would never do in your everyday life. So you just want to go ahead and do that. So you don't have to have any skills because our instructors or the instructors that Jen work with at the camps that help run these things are there to show you what you need to do in order to be safe and have a great time. As well as every location offers outdoor adventure activities like rock climbing, archery, high ropes course, kayaking, regular canoeing, not just the whitewater canoeing is actually a separate retreat. So you can go canoeing just out on the still water and canoe and not feel like you're going to go down a rapid at any given time. These programs are geared for all skill levels with varying degrees of difficulty in the routes for rock climbing or high ropes, depending on your skills. The staff that run these are excellent at teaching you the skills and guiding you through the process, and you'll come away feeling strong and empowered.
that's awesome. That's so cool.
Mhm.
So, Jen, could you share a little bit more about the adventure retreats, like in more like those weekends?
Yeah, absolutely. So we touched a little bit on the whitewater weekend. So that's a full weekend away where you're just focusing on learning to whitewater canoe. Whitewater kayaking will be coming as well. Aside from that, new this year is our camping series for all skill levels. So if you're a person who's never camped and you want to learn how, you can come to our basic camper where you're going to learn to put up a tent and how to connect a camp stove, how to light a fire, basic skills. And then if you already know that, you want to know the next level, you can come to our intermediate one where you're going to learn more about paddling and portaging, building shelters, basic first aid, cooking with different things like Dutch ovens over a fire. And then we're going to have the extreme level, your wilderness survival weekends. And that's going out in the bush with Ross and another instructor, and you're not sleeping in tents. You're building a shelter and sleeping in that. You are learning rescue signals in case you're stuck and need to flag a plane or anything like that. How to make your food bear safe, putting it up in a tree, all that lovely stuff. So we've got all adventure activities coming, but depending on your skill level, there's somewhere you'll fit in.
Nick and I are definitely not signing up for those ones. Just saying.
Jean-Luc doesn't sleep in a tent.
I do not anymore at
No,
least.
not anymore.
Back in the day, I
Back
might
in the
have.
day, but not anymore.
So I'll let you do.
So what motivated you to introduce the family-oriented retreats like the mama and daughter and mama and son weekends? What gave you that? I know you said earlier was about with feedback, but what really drove you to do this?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it's a feedback from the guests that really got that ball rolling. It's so easy to kind of book a weekend for your kids at, say, Great Wolf Lodge or something, where you show up, you're doing a water park and staying in a hotel. But what people wanted, I found, is they want to do activities. But as a mom, you're always doing the planning, right? So this is something where you can sign up with your daughter or your son, and you'll come and you'll pick workshops. You just show up. And then you can paint something together. You can build something together out of wood. You could take a cooking class together. Then there's a dance party at night, or the boys had a cardboard boat regatta. So it's a lot about bonding together, spending that quality time together while you can, where everything's planned for you.
That's so cool.
So where are your retreats typically held, and how do you choose these locations?
Yeah, we have them across Ontario and the East Coast. We move around. We have 5 different locations in Ontario we typically use now. We've done over 115 retreats. We've gone through so many camps, but we really whittled it down to the best locations, the one with the best accommodations, the best staff, the best food. We want to make sure the weekend is amazing for everybody. So the camps we use now are really top notch. Yeah, great facilities, great food.
So I think it's important for people to realize, and I'm going to reiterate this so you know, there's the RMR staff, but then there's the camp staff. Like there are people at the camp, like the people that are cooking the food, that
Yeah.
are manning the actual
Camps?
the venue itself.
Yeah.
So just so you know, there are 2 different types of there are 2 different staffs there.
What should participants know about the accommodations, the meals, and what to bring to ensure a comfortable experience?
So packing lists are provided, and Jen is a pro when it comes to providing guests everything that they need to know what to bring. So she knows where we're going to a certain camp at a certain time of year, where they're going to be staying. So if it's a camp where it's wintertime, so Cedar Ridge, for example, we know we're going to be inside in the lodge. So she will provide everybody to say, hey, okay, you need to bring your pillow and your bedding and then your clothes. And she sends a whole thing that says, just down to it. Like, I really wish she was my mom growing up, because I'd just be like, I wouldn't forget anything. Except when I
Imagine
drive
a
away
long
to
walk.
retreat and turn around and have to come back and get my clothes, but that's a whole other story.
That was last weekend.
That was last weekend, let me tell you.
Jen and I
So,
are both list crazy. We both
yes.
have met and chatted about this. We are both Excel or Google Sheets, Google Docs, and Google whatever lists. We're both on the same wavelength. So we're both and that kind of A-type personality when it comes to that. And another thing I want to share, everybody, a lot of times people are like, whoa, this is held at a summer camp. How does it work? So typically these summer camps are huge. So usually they fit thousands of children sometimes, or hundreds of children. So what happens is usually you get assigned a cabin or an area where you share with other women, and you don't actually book the entire cabin. So if you wearing it, well, I don't want to go on a bunk bed. You don't. You don't have to be on a bunk bed. You actually bring, most women grab the mattress from above, bring it to the bunk below, add double cushioning, then you make your bed comfy. So you really can actually you're not in a cabin stuck with like 30 people. You're going to be in a cabin usually with sometimes 6 people, sometimes 8, sometimes even less than that based on the rooms that are selected. So you really are not like on top of each other. You really get to relax and be yourself and have a great time while you're there at the retreat.
And cocktails are permitted, right?
Absolutely. We do provide wine at dinner both nights. We do have a bar if you wish to purchase from that, but you can bring your own alcohol and drink it anywhere on the site the entire weekend.
That's cool. Someone did ask a question. I thought I would ask you now before we forget. Where did the name Rustic Mama come from? How did you create that name?
Oh. That's an interesting story. I haven't asked that in ages. So prior to launching this business, I was a stay-at-home mom and I had a sign making business, and the name of the company was The Rustic Mama because I lived in the country. Everything I made was out of wood. It just kind of became the brand for that. And so when it transitioned to this company, we threw the retreats on there. I didn't want to lose the sense of business I had created and who I had become as a brand, essentially. And then added retreats to it. So
That's so cool.
And even last weekend, the usual yell at Rustic Mama that Heather uses to get everyone's attention is, "I say rustic," and everyone says you say mama, and we all yell Rustic Mama. Last weekend we said, "I say rustic," you say bougie. So we even kept the rustic name at the Bougie Mama Retreats because it is what this is all about. It is about, and I think that's, to me, that name
It means so much.
it means so much, and it also provides what this is about. It's not about, it's about that rustic feeling, community back in the day when people used to get together. That's what this is all about. And I think that's what the rustic really means in that. It's not that you're saying rustic and you're going to be sitting in a tent with a sleeping bag and then you're going to be out in the woods making your meal on a fire. No, that's not the rustic.
Only if you paid for that weekend.
Yeah, only if you paid for that weekend.
That was your on purpose weekend if you decided to be in a tent and whatnot. But when they do hear the word Rustic Mama, and obviously there's a story behind Jen's business name, and once they hear it, they're like, oh, they all have an aha moment. It's even like, I'm not a mama. Like, can I come? And it's like, no. Are you a woman, or are you Jean-Luc or Nick? Are you a woman over the age of 18, like then, or over 19 to come to a women's retreat? And your daughters can come up to age 18, 8 to 18 for the children. But are you a woman? Are you looking to get away? Are you looking to reconnect with yourself and your friends? Then you are welcome. So sign up with your girls or come on your own, because you're going to have new girlfriends by the time you leave. And just never think, oh, it's not too rustic, I'm not going to be in a tent. No, you could be bougie. You can be in a cabin, a heated cabin, or you can be in a tent if you want, but I'm not going to be there.
Sorry, Jen, we're not the right people to sell that for you.
Have fun, Jen.
Yeah, sorry, Jen.
I'd be there. I love tent camping.
She loves tent camping. I don't mind tent camping either, but yeah, but it doesn't always entail that you're going to be somewhere where you're going to be freezing and cold. And you don't got to be a mom. So that's
tent camping is a yurt with a king size bed.
I like the way you speak.
Glamping all the way. So what are some new initiatives or retreats that are on the horizon, Jen? Things that you might be excited about?
Oh, I'm excited about all of it. I love that every day is kind of a new adventure. The way this business grows, I never thought it would get here. So I'm very excited to where it's gotten to and where it's gonna go. I'm excited about all the adventure activities coming up. That's really a passion of mine. I was a former Girl Guide leader, so this is ingrained in me, the love of the outdoors and the sense of adventure. The whitewater stuff, the portaging trips we've got coming up. We've also got some awesome tropical travel trips and other travel trips, like you mentioned, going to Jamaica, December 2025. In July of 2026, there's going to be a cruise. Was going to be Alaska, may still be Alaska, but we are also throwing the idea around that it might be Iceland instead. And then there'll be another tropical winter 2026, and then a Mediterranean cruise summer 2027. So I love all the travel that's coming up. It's very exciting. Yeah. I love the women and men. Husbands are allowed to come on that. Friends, partners, everybody can come that get to go on these trips because it's such a unique experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the big thing happening though? There's some big news.
I know. So one of the most exciting things that's happening is RMR is in the process of building its permanent location. My partner and I ended up buying over 100 acres. We're up here in Bancroft area, and based on all of the feedback we got from everybody over 7 years, what they want in a cabin, better mattresses, washrooms in the cabin, heating, cooling, the food they want, we're able to take that, build exactly what you want, give you the location of your dreams, and have that here. Now, we will still go on location. We're going to keep our favorite camps, Kintail, White Pine, the ones out east, things like that. But the majority of the events will be able to happen right here on our own property.
That is so exciting. And when you told us that, Jen, got excited for you. Like, it's just it's such a cool thing to think that something that you created from the front seat of your car while you were driving with your kids annoying you in the background to now having like your own camp.
So kids sometimes do help.
They do help. They do help.
Sorry for all the parents out there. So how do you envision Rustic Mama Retreats evolving in the coming years?
For me, I'm excited to see where Jen takes us on this amazing adventure. From our regular retreats to bougie to mother-child adventure series, tropical and cruising, the company just keeps growing and changing with so many new RMR adventures to choose from. I feel we'll always be doing something different and amazing. Jen's got such it's a mind, it's a rabbit hole. You got to go down. She's got such great ideas that we float around and she just makes them happen. So I'm excited to see when we get digging in there to see what's going on in the next few years. But even the ones that we're normally doing, there's always great big changes, always great big new adventures. Nothing is the same. She always keeps it fresh and new. So I'm excited to watch it be more fresh and new for the coming years.
Well, I know even Jen, we've even talked to you about maybe someday doing an LGBTQ2 plus retreat, which would be great because there are some, but there's not as many as there could be, right? So I think it would be
Absolutely.
a cool type of retreat to do.
Absolutely.
You,
And
Jen?
that said, the world is our oyster, right? I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I don't know. I have this amazing team behind me and I keep throwing things at them and ideas and they bounce stuff back. And it's incredible what we developed already. We listen to the guests, like I've mentioned. So keep suggesting things and we'll keep trying to create them.
That's so awesome. And for us, it's been a dream.
I'm true.
We always share with our community for years that we always wanted to be retreats where women would come and we get to join.
Do you guys want to know something? No one knows this. Nick and I last year created a private Facebook group called a surprise thing that we were trying to organize.
Yeah, we were trying to create retreats.
But like a get together, something. And we're like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
And it was really bougie mama in a sense. And we told Jen it would be so cool. And Jen just said, we'll do it. Like it was so cool that you mentioned this to Jen and Jen's like, well, why can't we do it? And it's so fun to have someone that's so supportive and so empowering.
Yeah.
And not only does she empower ladies, but she empowers us. And so we can't thank you enough, Jen.
It's fun being able to give ideas and
Definitely.
have them come to life. It's and that's why we love doing this. We as much as yes, this was a mamas and a women's thing, but it's also made these two gay guys have a lot of fun and get empowered and feel feel something that we finally belong somewhere. You guys have heard a lot of our stories in the past. You guys heard what happened with us with Weight Watchers recently. This is the first time in a long time where we feel we belong. We feel included.
We're meant
to be here. And so we hope that some of you will come and experience this with us. Like we said, we're going to be in the East Coast. We're coming out. We're going to Jamaica with this group. If you are looking to travel the next 2 years or doing some things, come and join us and have a great time.
1000%.
Did you just drink
I took a sip.
That's what I thought.
1000%.
So on that note, I want to thank you both, Jen and Heather, for being here today. I know that the questions were probably a little, maybe a little hard to answer sometimes because they're very, it's from the heart, and it's hard to sometimes, be on camera. So I want to especially thank Jen because I know Jen is not a person who enjoys being on camera. Heather's like, I'm okay. I'm here.
I'm super shy. What are you talking
She's
about?
naturally shy. But I want to thank you both for being here. I think this has been amazing. And like I said, a lot of people don't know about this because, again, you hear a name and you judge a book by its cover. You think it's something, and then until you find out what it really is, then you're like, oh, this is what it is. And that's why I think this session was important tonight, so people can understand why we do this and why you should all do this with us.
Definitely. If any of you have questions, you can always go to the Rustic Mama website. We have a section on our website that leads you to the Rustic Mama website as well.
It says all the dates we're going, so you can see all the weekends that we're going to be there.
None of the real rustic ones.
No, we said that already. Yeah,
We're signing you up for a few extra. What are you talking
Hey,
about?
Heather,
Tent with your name on it.
as long
All
as
right,
you're there
Dora?
with me.
yeah, as long as you're there with us.
Well,
So on that note, I will end the live feed. For those of you in Zoom, you can stick around if you have any questions for us. And thank you for joining us today. And good luck, everybody. Last week of Kickstart. 7 more days of commitments. Well, commitments always, but tracked commitments for 7 days. Thank you, everybody.